up against the principles problem. We have forgotten the core principles that have kept us for 400 years on this side of the Atlantic. And so as I redefine for you today, I want you to think about your principles. And I want to tell you about the first principle, the principle of ancestral acknowledgement. Sometimes we think Ron DeSantis is really the problem. Sometimes we think that them taking history out of our schools is really the problem. When in actuality, we've taken history out of our own situations. We have redefined history and rewritten it for our own gain. Let me help you about your ancestral acknowledgement. You would not be here without the backs of slaves. You would not be here without a woman who picked cotton and had a baby and went back and picked cotton. You wouldn't be here ancestrally if God had not given you the spirit of resilience to come from a lineage of people that were kings and queens, but still sold each other too. The ancestral acknowledgement means you talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of our past. The ancestral acknowledgement is clarity on who you are, where you've been, and understanding where you really need to go. So ancestral acknowledgement is really entrenched in how we understand and how we learn from our history. We've seen DeSantis before. George Wallace was his name. We've seen Trump before. There's a couple of those names I can give you. If you understand your history and your ancestral understanding, you will know that this should not scare you where we are right now. This should actually excite you. Because it means that God's trusting us to get over like our ancestors got over. God is entrusting us with an opportunity to change the way we see ourselves. And when I look in the mirror, and when I look in this room, I see the seeds of those that prayed for us before they left here. Those that died for us to have the right to vote. Those of us that have stood in front of real trauma. Because the trauma we feeling now, our ancestors could never imagine us in Puerto Rico with my gold suit on and my pearls and shoes. I am fly today. Fly right there. Our ancestors could have never imagined you all sitting in their state houses. My grandmother was from Plant City, Florida. My father's mother was 99 when she left here. And I remember her fear for Barack Obama's life. She told me, I'm not going to vote for him, but they're going to kill him. And I tell that story for you to understand that the ancestral acknowledgement is understanding her pain was at that point my pain. And there were moments I would say, no, Grandma, you scrubbed enough floors for me to stand here today. So the floors you scrubbed were the floors that your grandmother scrubbed. The babies that they nursed for others. Your ancestral acknowledgement is a part of your power base. Because if you understand where you come from, you know that you will never go back. I promise you, we will never go back. I promise you, we will never go back. I promise you, we will never go back. Why? Because NOBEL Women exist. Why? Because there are black women in corporate spaces. I see my sisters in the back running things, making decisions, giving context. We will never go back to not having representation. We will never go back to not being in position. And if you think we're going back, you got another thing coming, baby. I tell you when I stand, there's no weapon formed against us that shall prosper. If you understand your ancestral acknowledgement, it'll change the way you see things. The principal problem that we have, not only do we miss the principle of ancestral acknowledgement, sometimes we miss the principle of political power and understanding its truth. Let me say what I want to say. And I hear Regina back at me, listen, NOBEL women, if you don't get agitated, who else will? if you don't begin to legislate on principles of black power, I said what I said, on principles of black power, that is not in spite of anyone else, but principles that align with black power movement means that you understand that Black Lives Matter means it's going to bless everybody in the country, because we have been the most marginalized, the most oppressed, the most depressed, the most suppressed group of people in the United States of America. And if you get agitated when you legislate, then you'll be able to coordinate. The reason why I said yes to NCNW outside of people like Alexis Herman looking at you, outside of those faces like Janetta Cole, the reason why I said yes is because I knew if I could get black women agitated, they can fight for that little boy to come home alive every day. If I can get you to legislate around the purposes that God put in you and put you in that office for that reason, then I can get you to coordinate. Because coordinated black power is a different kind of power. It's a kind of power that allows you to see, we may see it differently, but the end goal is power. We may do it differently, but the end goal is power. But here's what I found. The wrong kind of power is dangerous. Sometimes power gets to our heads in the wrong way. I said political power, not pumped up power. Pumped up power means you gotta be seated right there in my one seat and in the picture at all times power. Pumped up power is the kind of power that you want to be seen constantly, no matter if you're heard or doing any kind of work. That's pumped up power. That's fake. That ain't no real power. That's pompous actions with minimal results. But political power means it don't matter if they call my name. As long as we keep black history in schools, I don't care if they call my name. As long as black women stop dying in childbirth, it don't matter if they call my name. As long as black children are educated in public schools the same way they're educated in other schools, it don't matter where my name is. Political power is a core principle of Nobel Women. Well, it's supposed to be. So let me call this to the carpet, my sisters. Get in alignment for political power. Leave whatever it is at home and think about, why are we dying? I said, why are we dying? Why are children coming home in body bags? Why is COVID money drying up? What's happening in my state legislature that I was not aware of? What secret meetings were going on? And I was fighting about where I sat. Pumped up power versus political power. Pump political power says that maternal child health and housing and freedom to learn and equal pay for black women is going to be your work. I say equal pay for black women has to be a part of your work. Connectivity has to be a part of your work. We're living in a country right now that if you don't have broadband, you have no access. They didn't tell me to say this. I'm telling you the truth. If we're not connected, how can I get a job if I'm not connected? How can I have a bank account if I'm not connected? How can I do my telehealth appointments if I'm not connected? And I'm a daughter of a man who served as a principal. Let me talk to those that deal with education. This ain't even on the script, but I know what God said. If we don't reinvest in education, we will lose the battle for generations to come. I'm the daughter of a unionized teacher and principal and the little sister of a first grade teacher. My brother is a first grade teacher in Camden, New Jersey. And let me tell you something about educating our children. It requires a different kind of investment. It requires a different kind of grace. And if state legislators look the other way and say it's their children, no, it's your children. That boy is your boy. Those teachers are our teachers. And we have to fight the good fight to have political power. Barack Obama. I don't know, I might still over his life. He might be the next one. I'm closing, I see the 5 minutes. Principle of ancestral acknowledgement, the principle of political power. Let me close with this. Black women, we're talking about the state of black women. We have lost this principle of unity. And it hurts my heart when we think about not being united as black women. Let me tell you what I mean. Listen, we joke and laugh about the sorority differences. We joke and laugh about our roll calls. Rep your state, rep your colors. Don't you know that's a part of our unity? When Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune founded NCNW, she said, I've got to create an organization of organizations. And what she did was decide that I didn't care what your color was. Of your t-shirt, I mean. Come on, that's a loaded conversation. The color of your t-shirt doesn't matter. It's the color of United Black that matters for me. So what shade of black are you today? What's your shade of black today? What's your shade of black? Are you in your black joy? Are you unified about being black today? Or are egos in the way of our unity? Deception, hurt feelings, pain. When I tell you, my sisters, unity requires looking at differences not as defeat. Unity requires differences seen in a framework of asset. The more different we are, the more prepared we are. Because we bring all the perspectives that we need to unify our people. This is why this voting block of black women is so serious to every party there is. I'm not even partisan. I'm going to go ahead and say what I'm going to say. This voting block and our differences make a difference. That's why they're courting you. That's why they're coming here. But if we're not unified about the end goal, then money, power, respect is all going to cut up our plans to get to the end goal. Respect is required, my sisters. And I tell people all the time, and I told the sisters the other day, you can be hurt, but don't lead hurt. Don't legislate hurt. Don't engage your system hurt. We've got to learn the art of unifying and acting like mature sisters to be able to connect and unify for the next generation. Teach the young sisters who are watching you, how will you deal with indifference? This is why movements fall apart all over the country, because of difference and lack of unity. My sisters, I'm telling you this, our people are dying. White supremacy continues to show its ugly head in every space. But I want to close with this. If God be for us, who can be against us? But if you're fighting each other, then we can be against us. So let us align in the spirit of ancestral acknowledgement, political power, but most importantly, let's align on the principle of unity. Because this fist together can change the world.